coming up.
Traditional education system is not just a waste of time. It's worse than that.
Learning to be different.
This is our classroom, our excursion every day.
The homeschooling revolution with a twist.
She won't go to school, no.
Now it's unschooling.
What if they just want to play games?
It's up to them.
And worldschooling.
She's already done 8 countries in 2.5 years.
But does it make our kids smarter?
What are schools getting so wrong?
Families in Australia have changed what they want.
That's next on 60 Minutes.
The number of Australian children who don't ever enrol in mainstream education, or do attend but then leave, has doubled in the last 5 years. It means currently more than 48,000 kids don't sit in a traditional classroom. Instead, they're embracing a different kind of learning. It's most commonly known as homeschooling, but now terms like unschooling, or if you've got enough money, worldschooling, are also being added to the vocabulary. Bullying and school refusal are some of the reasons for the increase in numbers, but so too are parents who defiantly think they know better than the teachers. Jack and Amanda DeLosa want what's best for their daughter, and that means going about it very differently to most, especially when it comes to her education. Little Ariella will never sit an exam or even follow a curriculum.
Thank you. Oh, that's a cute shot.
Her parents reckon the 2.5-year-old will learn everything she ever needs from jet setting.
You too are.
What we're doing with Ariella, and it's been a conscious decision, you're not allowed to fly with a kid until they're 6 weeks of age. And so Ariella has been flying since 6 weeks of age.
Who's in Los Angeles?
Amanda's an influencer, while Jack's an entrepreneur. They're quite the high flyers already, and together have adopted the term worldschooling for their girl.
This concept of worldschooling is something that we see as being very valuable for her because of how much we move around. More time to actually do more of their sort of creative sort of activities, things that they're naturally going to lean towards for their development, as opposed to just sticking in a box with the curriculum side of things. I mean, she's already done 8 countries in 2.5 years since she was born.
8 countries
Yes.
already?
She's been on 150 flights. She's incredibly well travelled. That's normal for her now. She travels better than we do.
Jack and Amanda don't think too highly of a more mainstream education. And, as you might have already guessed, they're relishing the chance to tell you why. Will she ever set foot in a school or a classroom?
She won't go to school, no.
That's a big call at 2.5 years.
Well, the way I see it is, Ariella was born in 2023. If she followed the traditional path, she'd graduate university in 2045. School and university isn't teaching what's relevant in 2025, much less 2045.
But don't for a moment think it's just wealthy, radical thinkers like the DeLosas shunning school.
She's getting the wood.
Sandy Whiteman, like many, couldn't possibly afford worldschooling. So for her kids, 11-year-old Zarina and 8-year-old Isaac, there's unschooling.
I just ask them what they want to do daily, and we just follow their interest.
It's up to them what they do.
It's up to them. It's totally up to them. I ask what they want to do today.
What if they say they just want to sit on the couch and watch TV?
They get to sit on the couch.
Really?
I don't mind. And that way they're still learning how to look after themselves, how to look after their own needs. There you go.
Unschooling and worldschooling might seem a bit out there, but they're versions of what you've definitely heard of, homeschooling. It's something more and more Australian families are experimenting with because many, like Sandy, feel they have no choice. Both her kids, Isaac and Zarina, who live with autism, struggled with their school's rigid structure. Zarina was also bullied. And that's where unschoolings come in, to repair the damage.
I switched straight away to unschooling. You don't replicate school at home at all, especially when your kids are suffering, they have a mental load. They've been through a lot, bullyingness and anxiety, and that's when you need to take all the pressure away.
What are schools getting so wrong that parents are turning their back on them?
I don't think it's that schools are necessarily getting things wrong. I think it's that families in Australia have changed what they want for their young people to experience in education.
Dr. Rebecca English knows you can't just write schools off completely. She's a lecturer in education at the Queensland University of Technology and says there are plenty of school options for families struggling with a textbook education.
There are more Montessori schools. There are Steiner schools. There are special assistance schools that cater to the school-refusing population. There are democratic schools, which also cater heavily to neurodivergent and school-refusing young people. So there are lots of different options, and many of them are free. The fact that most students go to school says that schools are doing lots of things right.
You start, Isaac, so that I can watch you.
Having said that, Dr. English considers homeschooling a godsend for many parents, and certainly not something to be scoffed at.
Homeschooling has experienced by far the biggest growth of any education choice in Australia, and sometimes a short period in homeschooling is just what that child needs. Get over the anxiety, move on, be ready to try something different.
So could they do that? They could step away from ordinary school, be homeschooled for a bit, and you do think that wouldn't put them back if they decide to then go back into a traditional school?
The research shows that homeschoolers don't tend to stay in it the whole 12 years of homeschooling. Some do, but most of them just try it for a couple of years and then they'll often go back to school.
That's not a jarring experience for those kids going back?
Not if the child has decided that this is what they wish to do, no.
But don't expect young Ariella DeLosa to ever join her peers in a classroom. Her parents, Jack and Amanda, think so little of traditional education, they're not even prepared to give an actual school a go.
The traditional education system was set up and designed in the 1800s, and it was designed to produce factory workers. But if you fast forward 200 years, the school environment simulates an environment that is almost the opposite to the real world. We want you to sit down and not talk to the person next to you and wait to be told what to do. Well, in the real world, if you sit down, you don't talk to the person next to you and you wait to be told what to do, you're unemployable at best.
Like it or not, the DeLosas believe their own success means they know what it'll take for their daughter to get ahead. School, they say, would do her more harm than good.
It's not just a waste of time. It's worse than that. It's preparing students for a world that no longer exists. And so we're setting them back before they even start. That should frustrate all of us.
Teachers, educators, principals, they might take offence to some of the suggestions. They do their best, don't they, to evolve and teach in different ways?
We speak to a lot of teachers. A lot of former teachers have actually left the education system because of a lot of the issues that we raise.
My problem isn't with the teachers or the principals. My problem is with the system that they operate within.
I separate families who choose homeschooling into two groups. I think there are the deliberates, which is this family. They are never going to choose a school, so it's a waste of breath trying to get them to go. The really interesting part, and where all the growth we've experienced in Australia has been in this group that I call accidentals.
In other words, not outspoken parents like the DeLosas, but those whose kids are battling with schools so much, homeschooling's become a necessary last resort. So, how might their kids turn out? Coming up, the family who can answer that question. Show of hands if you had the time over. Who's doing homeschooling exactly the same way again?
Hey, I'm pretty sure there's like a big termite nest.
Oh, yeah, that's the termite.
Homeschooling for Sandy Whiteman and her two kids might not be what you expect. After all, it's often not at home.
This is a very different classroom to the one I remember. Sandy?
This is our classroom. Yeah, we don't sit on the desk. We don't have any bookwork routine, unless my kids really want to.
Serena and Isaac, who live with autism, are being what's called unschooled. They were unhappy at regular school, so now they get to learn by doing whatever they want to do. And 1 or 2 times a week, that's going for a bushwalk.
As you can see, my kids are happy and they're not getting stressed out or anxious and what's going to happen.
It's lovely that they're happy, of course, but
Yeah.
I guess the question is, what are you learning out here bringing your kids out?
We are learning about the nature, Australian wildlife, Australians' native plant, and then when they go home, they can actually open their own books by themselves. I don't tell them to write down. It's just their curiosity makes them to do it. It's like, oh, we went there. What was that bird?
Lots of our children would be at school if they could be at school, but what they're experiencing at school is causing them quite significant distress and often chronic stress.
Tiffany Westfall runs School Can't Australia, a volunteer support group for parents looking for advice on how to homeschool. It's become so much more common, the service can't keep up. In fact, around 3,000 families are on a wait list to join.
When a child becomes so unwell that they can't go to school, sometimes we're looking at a child who is curled up in the fetal position in bed in a darkened room, unable to leave the house. When we have children who are in stressed states beyond what they have capacity to cope with, then we are breaking them. We're not building resilience.
What changes have you seen in your son and daughter since they've been at home?
At home, learning from home, doing unschooling, I have seen a huge progress in their confidence. Their love for learning, actually. Before, they didn't want to learn, they didn't want to go to school, they didn't want to interact with anybody.
It's quite the indictment on regular schooling. Remarkably though, Vivian Fox is someone who's even more scathing.
And we had lots of art days together. We did do a lot of art with
The mother of 5 decided very early none of her children would ever attend school.
I've been a teacher for years and years, but I was a teacher in school. Not for a particularly long amount of time, but it was enough to see the parents were paying for an education that I didn't think they were really getting.
Oh, that's a
criticism, isn't it? A teacher making that decision.
There are a lot of teachers who are homeschooling. It's not the teacher's fault. It's because the system is very rigid and it makes it very hard for teachers. Even the most experienced, most committed teachers will have trouble individualising to those children.
The Fox family considers itself a bit of a homeschooling success story. 2 of Vivian's now adult children, Jeremy and Ellie, wouldn't have had it any other way. Not that they have anything to compare it to.
What do you think the homeschooling skeptics would be surprised to learn about you?
I suppose the fact that I didn't stay in the house my whole childhood. I think homeschool's really benefited me because it's taught me ways of how I learn the best. I've always loved reading. I've loved telling stories to people. And so I found a bachelor's degree in media and communications, and I chose to major in screen practice and production.
At the moment, I'm studying a master's at ANU, and I've completed a bachelor degree by the age of 18.
And he's working for the government.
But even they can't pretend homeschooling is perfect. Jeremy, now 31, is conscious of and honest about the downsides.
We don't want to make it sound like, you don't socialise, all that kind of thing. But I think one challenge was like feeling lonely and working through that. Particularly when you come to periods of homeschooling where there are, friends branch off and I had a lot of friends who, decided to finish up at school, all that kind of thing. And there were times there where it was tricky. They wanted to, be like everyone else.
It's why families choosing to homeschool, while increasingly common, are still the vast minority. Education lecturer Dr. Rebecca English is all for it when needed, but knows how time-consuming and expensive it can be for parents.
It is not an option for everybody.
So where does that leave schools? Where do they need to improve so that people can send their kid to school and be confident that they're going to be okay?
I think schools need to look at teachers. And when teachers are happy and when they're comfortable and when there's enough of them to help in a classroom, that's when the classroom becomes a lovely environment for that young person and they feel safe and comfortable to return. And I think with the growth of all of these alternative models, we have to have a long, hard look at ourselves, at what we're teaching and how we're teaching and whether what happens in mainstream school is the right way forward.
Not that they'll ever be able to convince the likes of Jack and Amanda Delosa.
Our concern with the traditional education system is that it punishes the skills that make somebody successful.
The Delosas are aware their bold ideas will generate some ridicule. They just don't care. And they're prepared, in fact, excited to debate anyone who thinks their daughter will one day belong in school.
Ariel is outgoing. School would diminish some of that. I love learning. I had to drop out of university because of my love of learning. It was too slow, it was too theoretical. My thirst for knowledge wasn't being satisfied.
To leap to school's defence a little bit, they talk about reviewing curriculums as often as they can. They bring in technology, or they move to individual focused teaching as opposed to broadly.
It's all weasel words. No, it's all weasel words. It's just box ticking exercises. It all sounds good. It's meant to reassure everyone that there is innovation and there is change and standards are being upheld. But at the end of the day, we end up back at square one.
Be it on principle or as a necessity, nothing anyone says will stop these families homeschooling. And while there's no way to know how their kids will grow up, what their parents are happy to say for sure is they know what's best for their children.
Do you have your doubts about what you're doing?
I used to, not anymore. School is amazing for some families. For some kids. For my kids, it didn't serve its purpose.
Does any part of you as parents sit here and worry 10, 15 years down the track that your daughter might turn around and go, "Oh, Mum and Dad, why didn't you just send me to school with everyone else?"
I think in Ariela's case, she's going to have a very fortunate upbringing that a lot of people don't get the opportunity to have. And so it's highly unlikely that that will occur. We're still in the hangover from a period of the 80s and 90s where if you went to school and you went to university, it almost guaranteed you a successful career that, would set you up for a really healthy and happy life. That's just simply no longer the case. And the world is waking up to that. It's just waking up to it slowly.
All right, well, show of hands, if you had the time over, who's doing homeschooling exactly the same way again?
I'm good. I feel like I've got to the point where I can say, look, it worked.
Hello, I'm Adam Hegarty. Thanks for watching 60 Minutes Australia. Subscribe to our channel now for brand new stories and exclusive clips every week. And don't miss out on our extra minute segments and full episodes of 60 Minutes on 9now.com.au and the 9Now app.